What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Elena Kimaru. If you're new here, kindly subscribe down below and also hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. For those who have subscribed, thank you so much for the support. On today's video, I wanted to continue talking about my weight loss journey, and I'll talk about the insecurities I faced with my weight and all that. So yeah, as I mentioned in the first video, someone really said something so bad to me. Say I was just body shamed, and I really had to make a lot of changes to my lifestyle and how I was doing stuff so that I could get back to what I thought was my ideal body, you know. And I would say some of the insecurities I really faced when I added on weight was I moved from just being 51 kgs to, was it 69? Yes, to 69 kgs, and that was a very big change, you know. So yeah, so I really had to do things differently, and it wasn't easy. And the insecurities I faced, first, I was never able to take photos and post them anywhere, because I always felt like, oh, maybe this is not good enough, maybe I look so big, I look maybe they would see my love handles, maybe they would see, you know. For me, it felt like I was not good enough to be in front of a camera, you know. It's sad, but that's what I felt. It felt that way. And most of the times when we were in a group of people and people were taking pictures, I would actually, instead of being part of the photo, I would actually be like, oh, give me the phone, and I'll be the one taking the pictures, because I really didn't feel like I wanted to be in the pictures. I was like, you know what, I'm not fine. I don't think my body needs to be in this photo. Yeah. And then most of the times, when it comes to clothes, of course, I would know. I said that at some point I could not fit into the clothes I used to own, so I would buy new clothes. And most of the times, even when I would go shopping, I would buy clothes that would not fit me. Most times I would buy smaller clothes. Maybe I would buy like 1 or 2 clothes that fit me, and then I would buy another 2, or at least 1 or 3 that were smaller in size. And in my head, I would be like, you know what, I'm buying this because it's really beautiful and it's small, and I'm waiting for that day when I would fit into this clothes, you know. Yeah, that was it. I wanted to go, you know, I wanted to fit into certain small clothes. And I would actually, for so long, I had those clothes in my house, and they would pile up, because every time I would buy something, I would still buy something smaller. And for so long, I even never fit into those. Like, it was never easy, you know. Weight loss, you don't just wake up today you are this big and then tomorrow you are this small, you know. It doesn't happen overnight. When it came to clothes, I was always doing that, buying a size that fits me and a smaller one. Something else I went through was the insecurities of having people comment about how I look. And I think also this happened a lot with my family, unfortunately. People would always make comments, oh, you look, so I started working out, yeah, and even me, I could notice the changes, but people were always making comments. And since I wasn't living home, every time I would go home, the way people would talk about my weight, I would feel like I've not really made any progress. So every time I would still feel like, you know, I need to keep going, I need to look smaller so at some point I felt like I actually need to look smaller. And it wasn't really smaller for myself, it was smaller for someone else, you know. And that's the most unfortunate thing that someone can go through, when you feel like you need to change something about yourself, or you need to like lose weight so that you can look a specific way for someone else. That it's painful, you know. Yeah, so I was always under constant pressure to look a certain way and all that. And every time people made comments about how I look, I felt like it just has to be this way, you know. It has to be this way, not that way. and it has to be according to what they actually want. So it was not easy for me. It was hard. Anyway, yeah, and then sometimes I would, I would even sit down and be like, I wish I looked like my sister. She had this ideal body type, the type that you would feel like, this is it, this is how I need to look like, So I would wish I looked like her. I would wish I was more like her. And it really was, it was affecting how I felt about myself, my self-esteem, and all that, Weight loss, it's not an easy journey. Sometimes you really need people to hold your hand and walk with you. And if they be the people who will be like criticizing you every step of the way, it can be really, really hard. But I'm glad, for me, I kept going despite all the setbacks, despite all the things that people kept saying to me. So I think the most important thing is, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your body? If you want to lose weight, where do you want to go with that? Do you want to lose 1 kg, 2 kgs, or what way? And sometimes it's not just about losing weight, it's about how you feel about yourself from just deep down, from within. Because if you don't learn to appreciate yourself, learn to appreciate every step of the journey, because people will always have a lot of stuff to say about people. I know, sometimes you are small, they'll complain. You grow, they'll still find something to say. So the one thing I learned is that you can never fit into people's expectations. You only need to just be yourself and know what you want as a person before you can, you can get into, because some of these things can actually depress you. When people talk about your weight, and maybe even for yourself, it's really something you've been struggling with and you really want to make changes, but you don't know where to get started, and then all the things that you get is just negative energy. Sometimes that can be really draining. So I'd say, love yourself for who you are and know what changes you need to make. Hold yourself accountable and do that. I hope this video has been insightful. I'll be in the next video, I'll be talking about what I actually did to lose the weight and to stay fit and live a healthier lifestyle for myself and not for any other person. Thank you so much for watching. If you've not subscribed, kindly do so and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. Thank you, and see you in the next video.